Welcome students. I hope you all are doing good. I am Akanksha Vishnoi, your geography teacher. In this presentation, I am going to teach you Chapter 2, Part 1, Population. So let's begin. The contents which I am going to explain you in this presentation are introduction of population, human resources, size of population, overpopulation and its impacts, underpopulation and its impacts, distribution of population. My dear students, what is population? The population of an area such as village or city or any country consists of all the people living in that area. By this, we can understand that the whole number of people or inhabitants in a country or region and the total of individuals occupying an area or making up as a whole. A country may have abundant and varied natural resources like minerals, water and fertile soil. But it always needs people to utilize all of these resources. Thus, farmers, miners, workers and professionals are needed to grow crops, bring out minerals from mines, build roads and houses, and run factories, offices, banks, etc. By this, we can say that a population is a distinct group of individuals, whether that group comprises a nation or a group of people with the common characteristics. It is people who give a country its literature, music, art and culture, and it is people who impart education and skills to other people. People are therefore considered to be the most important resource of a country. So this resource is known as human resource. Here comes the size of population. A country needs people, but its resources cannot support an unlimited number of people. Yes, we are talking about size of population. Let's say one example. Suppose a country with a small amount of resources has a very large population. Obviously, there will not be enough resources for everyone living out there, and people in general will have a very poor quality of life. We say that a country has an optimum population if its available resources can provide at least the basic necessities such as food, water and shelter for all of its people. However, we can say that it is based on the size of the population and the amount of resources available. Most of the countries of the world are either overpopulated or underpopulated. Overpopulation. It is the term which is used for a condition where the number of existing human population exceeds the carrying capacity of the earth or a country. It is caused by number of factors. It is a condition in which the population is so large that the available resources are not enough for all the people to get the basic necessities such as food. There are certain examples of overpopulated countries, that is Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria and Tanzania. There are many others too. In an overpopulated country, the people's quality of life can improve if the population decreases or if more resources can be made available by some means like using better technology. As we have discussed about overpopulation, let's discuss some of the impacts. To live a reasonably comfortable life, we always need various resources. Food, clean water, homes, jobs and amenities such as electricity, healthcare and educational facilities are a few examples. In an overpopulated country, all the people do not have enough of these resources. So obviously, there could be a joblessness or unemployment, and even many of the working people earn very little. Some people are homeless. In the worst cases, there may be a famine. It is a severe food shortage. When there is not enough food for everyone and there are people dying of hunger. Due to the lack of good health care and education, people suffer from ill health and cannot develop skills to use their resources efficiently. Hence, the quality of life is poor and people want to leave the country and settle in other places. When we talk about impact of overpopulation, resources are consumed faster than they can be produced or replenished. Hence, there is a depletion of resources such as fresh water, forest and minerals. There is also pollution of air, water and soil due to unscientific human activities. All of this destroys or pollutes the habitat of species other than humans as well, and many species become extinct. Large-scale deforestation and species extinction harm the whole world, as do some effects of pollution like global warming and ozone depletion. My dear students, let's begin with underpopulation. It is a condition in which the population is so small that there are not enough people to utilize the available resources. It is usually defined as a state in which a country's population has declined too much to support its current economic system. Canada, Australia, Russia and Namibia are such examples of underpopulated countries. In an underpopulated countries, more resources can be made available and the quality of life can improve further if the population increases. We generally think that relatively small countries with large populations are overpopulated and large countries with small populations are underpopulated. So my dear students, this is one of the important factors that you know about overpopulation and underpopulation. But overpopulation and underpopulation depend not so much on the size of the population as on the country's resources and the ability of its population to utilize those resources. They much depend on skills, awareness, technical knowledge, health, etc. of the people, as only healthy, educated and skilled people can utilize those resources available efficiently and contribute to the development of their country's economy. If we talk about some impacts of underpopulation, it has been divided into two effects: positive effects and negative effects. In an underpopulated country, there are more than enough resources for all the people to have a good quality of life. There is no unemployment. In fact, there is a shortage of labor, meaning there are not enough people to do all the jobs that can be provided. Generally, food, shelter, healthcare and education are available to everyone. However, goods and services may be expensive as production is low and the cost of hiring workers is high. The shortage of labor creates difficulties for industries that need a lot of workers like mining and construction. Many people who leave their own country settle in an underpopulated country. Why? because underpopulated countries can easily take in more people and support them without lowering the general quality of life. Many underpopulated countries encourages people from outside to come and settle so that the shortage of labor is reduced and unutilized resources can be put to use. Distribution of population. My dear students, from the image you can understand by some different colors we can see that there is a different numbers of people living in different areas. Why? Because the distribution of population is not even throughout the world. Through this image we can see the dark maroon color belongs to the overpopulated countries like India and China. Even some areas like the Ganga-Brahmaputra basin and the industrial region of northeastern USA are extremely crowded. Again, some areas like parts of the Sahara Desert and the Amazon rainforest are almost uninhabited. The distribution of population is influenced by various factors which may be physical or non-physical. The physical factors are determined by nature and cannot be completely controlled by man. The non-physical factors, on the other hand, are products of human activities and are also known as human factors. My dear students, when we talk about the physical factors, it includes landforms, climate, soil, availability of water, minerals and power resources. Landforms. Plains have the highest concentration of population due to the flat land, which is suitable for agriculture, industry, and the development of transport facilities. Plateaus are less populated than plains. Mountains have the lowest concentrations of population. The second physical factor is climate. Regions having extremely hot or cold climate are thinly populated. So are regions that do not receive much rainfall like deserts. Regions with moderate temperature and abundant rainfall are heavily populated. Third factor is soil. Areas with fertile soils usually support large populations. For example, river valleys with fertile alluvial soils are densely populated. Fourth factor is the availability of water. As water is a basic necessity of life, human settlements always develop near sources of water. Thus, areas having an abundant supply of water are densely populated, while arid regions like deserts are thinly populated. Fifth factor and the last one is the mineral and power resources. Areas that are rich in minerals and resources of power usually support the large populations. The discovery of minerals often encourages people to move to the site of the discovery and settle there. As that, we can see this happened already. For example, when the discovery of gold fields in North America, Australia and South Africa happened. Let's discuss the non-physical factors. There are several non-physical factors when it comes to the distribution of population. Socio-economic and cultural factors influence the distribution of population. Political stability, the availability of educational and healthcare facilities, and the presence of industries and employment opportunities are some of the conditions that encourage people to settle in an area. Centers of religious or cultural activity also attract people. Thus, cities like Tokyo, New York, Mumbai and Bengaluru are crowded because they are centers of industry and commerce, while Varanasi is crowded because it is a center of religion, learning and arts. As most of the world's land is in this northern hemisphere, this hemisphere has more people than does the southern hemisphere. So my dear students, this is it for part 1 of chapter 2. The remaining chapter will be discussed in the other parts. Thank you and have a nice day.